them individually. We'll sit down with them and try to find out what their goals are, because that's what's important. We want to help clients achieve their goals, and then we will lay out a good roadmap for them to help them get there, and then we're going to be with them every step of the way, working with them to help them achieve those goals. So it truly is personal training.
Now, what was Tyler kind of mentioned the key program or whatever. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we have a system here at North Rutherford and also one other center in our association, but where we have, we call it a smart key. It's put out by a company called Techno Gym, and basically a person can come in and for a one-time $25 fee, they can purchase one of these smart keys. We'll then, get some personal information from them, and then we'll do two tests on them. We'll do an aerobic test, which is a walking test. We're not going to put them on a treadmill and run them to death. It can also be done on a bicycle or elliptical trainer, any one of those pieces of equipment. And then we put them on 3 pieces of strength equipment just to see where their level of fitness is, and then based on their performance, then we're going to generate a workout for them with the appropriate weights, the appropriate number of repetitions, the appropriate number of sets to help them achieve their goals, in which for 95% of the people who walk through our doors, they want to lose weight, they want to feel better, they want to have more energy. And so we set up programs that help them do that. And then they'll also be assigned to a wellness coach. That coach will be touching base with them periodically and soliciting information from them and just trying to see what we can do to make that better. And that has gone over really, really well for us here.
Is that what you have around your neck?
It is. That's what I have, and it works great. It'll track your workout for you, so you don't have to write it down. It'll track your calories, track the amount of pounds you lift, and it's a really, really neat system. So we're very pleased with that here, and it's worked really well for us.
So what does someone need to do if they want to get involved with some of these programs that were mentioned here today by Elaine, or take part in the pool, or some of the personal training and exercise type things that you've got going on here at the Y?
Well, we would love for everybody to come by here, but if they can, or they're still just a little bit skeptical, maybe they might want to just call. And again, that number is 220-9622. But if somebody comes in and they walk through the door at our wellness, our welcome center, they can just tell us what they're here for, whether it's aquatics or swim lessons, or we also have youth sports camps going on right now with our kids. If they're interested in that, we'll direct them to the appropriate areas. If they're interested in personal training or the smart key, then those of us in the wellness area will help them with that. But we are just here to help our members achieve their needs and their goals. That's what we're here for.
Dwight, appreciate you being here, and tell Elaine and Tyler and everyone here thanks, and come on by the North Rutherford Y.
That's right. We're here. This is a very safe environment for everybody, and no matter who you are, you can find something here that's going to benefit you. So we just want you to come by and visit with us and see how that we can help you.
Sounds good. Dwight Bond joining us here from the North Rutherford YMCA, where we'll be continuing the conversation after we take a timeout for a traffic and weather update. Also get an update from Ron Jordan on the news, and then we'll be back with more Rutherford issues. A special edition here from the North Rutherford YMCA in Smyrna. We'll be right back. Mike, you've got a couple of guys who know a lot about the Smyrna area, past and present.
They sure do. I know Ernie served as a county commissioner for 12 years, Ernie? 8 years, and great guy. And one thing I'll compliment him on is, I remember I asked about Ernie years ago. It was at least 8 years ago before I even ran for office or anything. And I said, what about that Mr. Ernie Johns? And I forgot who it was told me. They said, well, one thing about Ernie, he's his own man. They said, he's not held to nobody. He's going to speak his mind. He's going to do what's best for everyone involved. And I kind of thought about that. I mean, it may sound cliche, but that's the kind of person I want to be right there. But I always admire him. He's been an inspiration for me. We don't always agree on things, but I got a lot of respect for him. But he's
that's you and anybody else, though, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, he's yeah. But he's just a great guy, and Toby Francis with us also, and both of them have a wealth of knowledge with history here, and they both been up on the air with us before. But the two guys here that know more about the history of North Rutherford County will be these two gentlemen. And
what specifically are we going to be talking about with them today?
You know, something that's always fascinated me with this end of the county is, you know, I was born out there at the old base, and, you know, you see the old roads. You know, we used to go to old Smyrna Beach, and I remember my older sister, if anybody's listening, remember the old Smyrna Beach. There was an old road to the left. I guess was it maybe the old Couchville Pike, or that would run down into the lake. And as a kid, my sister would always tease us and act like she was going to drive into the water, and it, as a little 2 or 3-year-old, that would petrify me. But I was always curious where those roads went to, you know, before all the lake was dammed up. But he's brought in some photos here of 1967 where they put the Percy Priest Dam in. But I've always been fascinated with the lake, and I know this is something that's Ernie is kind of passionate about, because his family home and farm was taken by the Corps of Engineers, and to be put it blunt, he hadn't gotten over it. I know he hadn't. I've talked to him about it. He's still, 40 years later, he's still got a little bit of a grudge about it, I believe.
Ernie, pull up that microphone right there. I remember much of your time on the county commission as well, and now you're kind of is it the county historian? Is that what you kind of keep up with the history of the county?
I guess that's what you'd call it. I've been interested in it a long time, still am, and interested in the Rutherford County Historical Society and keeping it going. It was started by Homer Pittard and Mayor Westbrooks at the time, and I think it's been a very good organization. I think it's well, let me ask a question. Why are we interested in history? Is history worth keeping? Do we need to keep history?
Well, isn't that a question that most kids ask? I mean, Toby, when they were in the classroom, did they not most of the time ask, why do we need to learn this history stuff?
Oh, I don't know. I had pretty good success when I was teaching history. I was teaching history when I was out west in Reno, Nevada area, and so at one stretch there, I was pretty well teaching, say, history and geography, and like the junior high level. But for the most part, I had a lot of success as far as right attitudes. There are some things in school that kids seem to complain about. I saw one thing that said the high school class that changes more attitudes to the high school level is Algebra 2. You either are very successful in it or you're a failure. And that's a hatred type thing.
Yeah, you love it or hate it. What do you tell somebody if they ask you that question, Ernie?
I don't know. I don't think we can save every old house. I don't think we can save every old piece of paper. But I think the story of people, not the people, the descendants of the Revolutionary War soldiers, the military heroes. I don't think we need to. I think we preserve the history of them, but the ordinary people. I think the people that came in here and chopped the trees down, cleared the roads, and their story. What did they do? Who were they? And where? When did they come here, and where did they come from? Where are we from? Are we from Virginia or from North Carolina? Or do we come from England, or do we come from? Where are we from? Why are we here?
Now, is that kind of your focus when you're trying to preserve bits and pieces of history to pass along? Is that really what you concentrate on?
I like it all.
Yeah.
I like to preserve for other people, not so much in writing it as it is in finding it. Several years ago, some man came back to Murfreesboro and he had 4 manuscripts. And he presented them some people here, and they said, I don't know what they are. And I looked at them, I knew exactly what they were. In 1870, it says that a man named Spence was writing a history of Rutherford County. Well, apparently he sided with the Union Army a little bit, had a Union sympathies.